You've likely heard the usual advice: if a woman isn't into you, either give up, move on, or try harder to win her over. Here's the uncomfortable reality: women don't miss men out of need, they miss men who know how to project a strong emotional presence, even when they're not physically there. This isn't a guide to corny tactics or scripted pickup lines. It's about reading female psychology at a deeper level and positioning yourself so that a woman who felt indifferent at first begins thinking about you in your absence. Sounds far-fetched? It isn't. Indifference is almost never permanent, it's a response. Learn to shift that response, and you'll change how she sees you. And understand this from the start: making her miss you isn't about chasing, pleading, or trying to prove value. Those are the quickest ways to smother attraction. Women don't admire men who overexert to impress. What actually creates longing is the opposite of what most guys do. It isn't about being constantly available, it's about becoming memorable. In this video, I'll map out the process step by step. You'll see how to spark curiosity, earn respect, and ultimately ignite desire, even from a woman who barely noticed you. By the end, you'll realize that inspiring her to miss you isn't random luck. It's psychology, applied differently than the crowd. 1. Why chasing destroys attraction. Here's a truth most men resist: the harder you pursue, the quicker she withdraws. Chasing feels logical: you want her, so you pitch yourself, escalate effort, and try to demonstrate worth. But in the female mind, this nearly always backfires. Why? Because chasing inverts the power dynamic. Instead of her feeling fortunate to have your attention, you frame yourself as the one campaigning for hers. And no one longs for what they already have in excess. When you're forever calling, texting, and showcasing, you flood her with emotional oversupply. There's zero need for her to think about you, you're already omnipresent. Imagine being handed free food daily. Do you crave it? Of course not. Remove the constant supply, and suddenly appetite returns. Same here. Women don't miss the man who never leaves, they miss the man who leaves room. There's another layer: relentless pursuit telegraphs insecurity. It announces you don't believe you're valuable enough to stand still and let her step toward you. Few things kill attraction faster. Women gravitate to men with options, standards, and a life beyond seeking approval. Want indifference to flip? Rule 1: stop chasing. Step back and let absence talk. Silence often communicates more than 100 texts. If you've been pinging her 3 times a day and getting dry replies, halt for 48 hours. Frequently, she'll check your page, wonder where you went, or even initiate. By not chasing, you created space, the oxygen curiosity needs. 2. Silence outperforms endless texting. Many men assume constant communication breeds interest: good morning, midday check-ins, good night. On the surface, that looks like effort; in reality, it makes you easy to take for granted. Words that are always available lose impact. Silence has gravity. It builds tension and prompts reflection. In female psychology, curiosity outweighs familiarity. When you go quiet, you invite questions: why hasn't he messaged? What's he up to? Who's he with? That questioning is the root of missing you. Think of attention like currency: silence is how you raise its price. If you scatter calls and texts like loose change, she'll treat them like loose change, always there, rarely valued. Restraint, even brief, makes your attention feel scarce, and people crave what's scarce. Don't confuse this with childish ignoring, it's about balance. You're signaling that your life doesn't orbit her notifications. A man who isn't compelled to check in every hour radiates confidence, independence, and self-respect, the trio that pulls her closer. Practical example: if her reply's slow, resist the urge to send more. Pause for a full day. That gap often lands harder than any carefully crafted paragraph. Your silence becomes the message. 3. Stop being permanently available. One of the costliest errors is believing 24/7 accessibility will win her over. You cancel plans, just in case, reply instantly to every ping, and always stand by. On paper, that looks devoted. In practice, it reads predictable, flat, and ultimately forgettable. When access is guaranteed, there's no challenge, no tension, no spark. She knows you'll always answer, always agree, always rearrange. And what comes too easily loses perceived value. That's human nature. Think of your own pursuits, the rare job, the limited item, the high goal. Desire intensifies when something isn't easily attainable. Gifts handed over without effort seldom feel special. Women don't yearn for men who orbit them, they're drawn to men anchored in purpose, hobbies, work, training, friends. Men who can say, can't, busy, without guilt. That independence signals you're not desperate and that your worth exists outside her attention. The more you oversupply your presence, the less space there is for her to miss you. Create room. Demonstrate that your world turns with or without her schedule. That's when absence registers, and longing begins. 4. Mystery outperforms early over-honesty. Honesty matters in relationships, but too much, too soon, suffocates attraction. Many men think that front-loading every feeling, plan, and thought builds connection. It actually erases mystery, and mystery is the engine of intrigue. Attraction isn't a spreadsheet, it's emotion. And emotions ignite around questions, not answers. When she doesn't fully, have you figured out, her mind fills the gaps, where you're going, who you're with, what you're thinking. That mental participation keeps you sticky. But if you over-explain from day one, there's nothing left for her imagination to work with. No suspense, no chase. Think of your favorite stories, it's the unresolved tension that hooks you. If everything were spoiled in 5 minutes, you'd tune out. Same with men who narrate every inner feeling in real time, no suspense, no thrill. Mystery creates value. Selective disclosure forces focus, she finds herself thinking about you when you're not around. Missing begins in the mind long before it lands in the heart. So yes, be honest, but practice paced honesty. If you want an initially indifferent woman to crave your presence, remember, what you withhold skillfully often has more impact than what you tell. 5. Never compete for her attention. Countless men get trapped playing the competitor, racing to comment on her posts, trying to outshine other guys, getting louder, funnier, more available. That energy reads as neediness, and women sense it instantly. If you're competing, you've already ceded frame. Mature men don't compete, they attract. A man rooted in self-worth doesn't track who else texts her. His value is self-evident, if she misses it, that's on her. Stop putting her on a pedestal. Treating her attention like a trophy invites desperation, and desperation never earns respect. The paradox is brutal, the more you campaign, the more she drifts toward the man who isn't campaigning. Women respond to men who create demand, not to those begging for supply. The moment you stop performing and start living like you are the prize, her perception shifts. Your time, focus, and energy aren't freebies, they're premium. And people pursue premium. If you're still battling for her spotlight, you're telling her she's above you. Flip the script. You are the standard. Let her qualify. 6. Confidence is more addictive than love. Here's a hard pill, women are drawn first to confidence, not to declarations of love. You can pour out affection and craft novels of devotion, without confidence, the spark won't catch. Love minus confidence feels like need, and need repels. Confidence is quiet power, the way you move, decide, and speak without requesting permission. Think of the men you've seen women choose who weren't the kindest or best looking but carried unwavering self-belief. Not a coincidence. Confidence signals strength, stability, leadership. Love might warm her, confidence hooks her. And confidence isn't lip service, it's behavior, choosing decisively, holding your opinions without folding to please, and being ready to walk if respect disappears. That kind of posture doesn't just make you likable, it makes you memorable. Stop assuming love alone will make her miss you. Love without backbone is dependency, and dependency is repellent. Confidence is the imprint that lingers when you leave, the thought that keeps her awake, the reason she misses you even after she promised herself she wouldn't. 7. Let her feel she could lose you. Few triggers create longing faster than the possibility of loss. Humans undervalue guarantees and cherish what could slip away. Many men turn themselves into permanent fixtures in a woman's life, before she's earned that access. If she knows you'll always be there, why chase, appreciate, or miss you? But once she senses your attention shifting, your focus no longer centered on her, everything changes. Doubts surface. Is he moving on? Is someone else getting his time? Did I blow it? That jolt is powerful, it catalyzes desire. Note, this isn't manipulation, it's self-respect. You're not faking distance, you genuinely live a life that doesn't revolve around her. If she doesn't recognize your value, someone else will, and that reality makes absence sting. The rule is simple. Stop making yourself a guarantee. Be willing to walk. Allow the silence. Let her imagine life without you. That's when missing peaks. Painful but true, women rarely miss the perpetually nice guy, they miss the man with the strength to step back and let his absence be felt. You can be generous and kind, but if you never create space, you teach her to forget you. The man who respects himself enough not to beg is the one she ends up pursuing. Now it's your turn. Have you chased too hard, or watched silence draw her back? Share your experience below. I read the comments, respond, and when I can, I'll help you navigate your situation. This channel isn't a monologue, it's a community of men learning to understand female psychology and use it to gain respect, not lose it. Before we close, a preview. In the next video we'll break down why offering full loyalty too early can be the exact reason she pulls away. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you're first when it drops. See you there.